What up, 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 and some more what ups. Listen, we here. It's Brooklyn Bids and Ball Sports Show. Y'all know what time it is. The hottest sports show in the land. We about to talk about some NFL. We got some stuff we gonna bring to the table. It's none other than your boy Don. It's none other than in the words of the Big Daddy Kane, Scoop lover, my brother, Scrap lover, the other, in the building representing Philly. We are in the building today. Yes, indeed. We got a hot one for you today and a whole lot of crow to eat. So listen, it's going to be a good one. Again, y'all, for another week in a row, it's Don's World. It's me and Scrap are just living in it for now, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? But we here. But listen, before we turn it over to Don's World, listen, want y'all to do us a favor. We need y'all to write and subscribe and put your stuff in the comments and like and share and all that stuff out there. Facebook land, YouTube land. Y'all know what time it is. Let's bring it on. We got some more football to talk. Some crazy L's took place this weekend. And so, man, we here. We're going to talk about them, though. We're going to talk about them. But listen, Don, Scrap, what's good with your fellas? How y'all feeling right now, man, before we get started?
Oh, man. You know what? Listen, I got so tired of the Niners winning, I decided to just I'm not going to wear Niners gear. I put on some old throwback Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie hoodie, because it's like, man, we are rolling. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see how it all plays out.
No doubt. We'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah,
Scrap, you doing all right, bro? You good?
Oh yeah, I'm good, man. I'm here. Starting to get used to this losing thing now. Now I'm starting to see how you feel, man.
You know what I'm saying? I feel you. Well, let's get it in. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Without further ado, let's rock. Okay, week 15 is in the books. Listen, this is going to be now, typically, if you guys have watched the show before, we've had therapy sessions, right? And typically I don't like to overbook, right? I don't want, because like if someone's attention, you don't get, like, typically, I'm giving Rod my undivided attention in his therapy session.
Right.
And I've given Scrap my undivided attention in his therapy session. But this week is unique. Week 15 is in the books, and I'm going to try to conduct a double therapy session. I'm going to give them an opportunity. We have dual couches located, one in Philly, one in Atlanta, and I'm going to give everyone an opportunity to just get things off their chest, things they want to talk about. Because I know after this week, it has to be, there's a lot of stuff on their mind. Aspirations of Super Bowls and #1 seeds and even winning their division. All of that has to be rumbling around in their brains. As we look down on both of those teams, being the #1 seed, rolling as we have done every week, I just want to give them an opportunity to just get things off their chest. And we're going to start with the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys were rolling. They were looking good. But just like anything else, you have to look deeper and see, okay, who are they playing? How did they match up against, teams with winning records? How did that look? Was the offense flowing? Was it defense dependent? And they were riding. A lot of their wins was on the defense. The defense was actually way outperforming the offense, but they were still good. They beat the Eagles. That was the game for them, perhaps
when they arrived. Yeah, that's when they arrived.
So they circled that. They wanted to win, and so they got that W. And then to understand that you have the opportunity after beating the Eagles, you have an opportunity to really win the division. You have an opportunity to win the NFC East. If you do, and you know that the Eagles have an easier schedule, so every game is going to count. But because you beat the Eagles, that should have been a momentum booster to kind of catapult you into your winning ways throughout the season. And so what happens? Unfortunately, they go to Western New York. And And I'm thinking that we're going to see the Dak that had been rolling and was in the MVP discussion. That's done. Okay, let's be clear on that. He's not an MVP discussion anymore. I don't think that is a bold take. The cream always rises to the top. So we know that Purdy right now, head and shoulders above everybody. That's the MVP of the season so far. Now, of course, there's games left. He could stumble. I doubt it. We have a big test coming up, but I think that from a standpoint, I was expecting to see the Dak. See, you can always tell at the press conference what kind of Dak. After the game, everyone they're confident. You had somebody saying, I forget who it was, "Oh, we're gonna punch him in the mouth," and then when they believe we're gonna hit him again. And then what happened? When the opportunity came, you knew that Buffalo was a hungry team. You knew that this game was really important to them. And so I think that the Cowboys took off. But this is just me getting Rod to relax, to feel comfortable. This is a safe place. So I want him, I'm going to do some of the talking just to get him to let down his guard. And now I'm going to give the floor to Rod. What do you have to say, Rod?
No, that was DeMarcus Lawrence, by the way, who
Marcus Lawrence
made those, insane.
Yeah, he always got something to say.
Yeah, DeMarcus has a lot to say. Still one of the
James
best
is
DNs.
in the building.
James,
James,
what's good, man?
what's happening,
James?
James?
What's good,
What's
James? What's
JD.
good, bro? What's good?
My man, JD.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a therapy long time after these past few weeks. Yeah, man. Welcome to the therapy session, James. Yeah, we appreciate you coming on board, man. Listen, so here's the thing with the Cowboys. And I think I told you, I don't know if I was y'all I was talking to or another chat I was in, but I was saying that this game I had already circled to be an L before the season started, right? Because Buffalo, I always believed that they were not the 7-16 that their record says. And I've been saying that. I've been consistent with that. They are a better team. They just had some heartbreaking losses. And the thing is with Dallas going up in there in Buffalo, I didn't expect us, the defense, because this game is not on Dak. Okay, if anybody got eyes, if anybody really, really dissects the game, this game is not on Dak. This game is strictly on Dan Quinn and the defense. Okay, and they did what pretty much Arizona did for the most part, and that was to run the ball down our throat. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. That's what they did basically. Because again, when Buffalo understands, and shout out to Joe Brady, you got to give him credit for just being committed to the run. A lot of teams don't commit to the run. A lot of teams will run and have some success, but then they'll end up coming away from the run, getting back into the pass, because the reality is with Dallas and the way we're built, particularly defensively, we're built as a defense to be in the lead. That's how we play. We play with the lead. So what does that do? When you have a lead, you can't run the ball and commit to it. You can run, but you can't commit to the run because you got to play catch up, right? Because Dak is throwing the ball all over the yard. CD and Ferguson, everybody's wilding out, and points is going up on the board. So you got to stay, in order to stay abreast of where we are, you got to eventually throw the ball at some point, right? And so the truth is, when you got Joe Brady, who's putting in a 22 package, 21 package, you got 6 offensive linemen up on the line there, and against a dime defense, that's essentially what Dallas plays, because we are thin at linebacker. Our linebackers are small. Clark is small. Bell is small. Bell has been playing very well, but Bell is a safety. He's a hybrid. That's not his natural position. Dan Quinn likes to use hybrid type of guys. And what happens in that, it's good when you got the speed, but even in the speed, we weren't able to get off the blocks because they really didn't even hurt us up the middle. Where Hankins usually is, that's our run stopper. They was able to get to the ends. They were killing us on the end. So Armstrong and Lawrence, who are really good DNs against the run, were not able to even get off their blocks. And the linebackers at the second level, we saw what happened to Damon Clark. I mean, my God, right? Old boy dragged him like 30 yards down the field and then pancaked them. It was just, it was embarrassing to see. We're small.
Yeah, that was ugly.
That was ugly. Nah, I ain't even gonna lie. That was ugly, bro. That was ugly. And so they smashed us in the mouth because, again, Dallas is small. They didn't even have to block Parsons half the time when they ran from him. And then when they ran towards him, still, Parsons couldn't even get off the block, or he was out of position in a lot of cases, but we're thin at linebacker. I don't know why we didn't try to match their package to a degree, bring in Evans or bring in another defensive lineman, because you can't run a dime defense or nickel defense against a 22 package. And you saw that they was like, yo, we're not going to throw the ball. If you gave me Josh Allen's stats prior to that game, either I thought he would have gotten hurt or we just completely shut down their offense altogether in terms of their passing game. Wasn't the case. They didn't need to throw the ball at all. They just said, okay, Dallas can't stop it, so we're just going to keep running it. You talked about Cook earlier last week, Donald. You've been bringing him up, and you've been consistent in your take with Buffalo that they need to run the ball more. Stop putting all that running on Josh. Well, Brady been watching the show, clearly, and he said, all right, I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and put the run game in, and I'm going to stick to the running game. And that's what happened with Dallas. Now, mind you, 3 calls changed everything. Not everything, but it killed a lot of momentum in the beginning, okay? A lot of momentum in the beginning. I'm not going to say they were bad calls. They were, as far as I'm concerned, they were all good calls. Dallas leads the league in
Don't slip
penalties.
in an excuse. Whatever
So,
you
no,
do.
not slipping in an excuse. No, I just said that.
I feel like he
look,
slipped it to you like a 20, in a handshake.
Had the excuse folded into
the little 20 like that. You're like,
exactly.
Right. A little piece of change.
That's why I turned my face. I'm like,
bless you. Let me bless you to encourage your heart with this excuse.
Are we sliding the refs in there a little bit?
Nah. No refs at all. No refs. Okay. Listen, the roughing the pass on Lawrence, okay? That is what it is. Lawrence really should have known, but he could have still pulled up, but they hit him in the chest with the forearm. The way it looks, they're going to call that. Then you got Sam Williams on the punt block, which I don't understand what the heck he was doing. Poor technique. And Sam Williams already has a block punt this year. Instead of diving at the legs like you're taught to do, go for the foot. All you got to do is take the ball right at the foot. What are you jumping 90 feet in the air for like you're some sci-fi figure in a movie and then trying to come down, and then you're contorting your body as if you're afraid to get hit with the ball or you're afraid to hit the punter. Just hit the ball. Take the ball. You were so right there. You beat the center clean. All you got to do is take the ball right off his foot. But instead, what do? You miss the ball, which I can't still see how you even missed the ball, but then you obliterate the punter. So now that gives them life. They go down the field. They still drove 85 yards. So again, it's on the defense again. But we had a chance to get them off the field. And then of course with Javon Curse with the penalty there with the hard hit there. Right, yeah. Huh?
Was it roughing the passer or?
No. That was unsportsmanlike conduct. He hit him with the helmet and all that stuff.
Well, so, you got to conduct yourself.
No, you're right, and we didn't. And this is the discipline parts of Cowboys that is bad.
Last week,
huh?
Yeah.
Didn't someone talk about comportment last week?
Well, we lose comportment because we don't have any. Now they want to remember my words. You see that, America? Now they want to bring out. They want to remember all the words I said. You know what I'm saying? See that
will be used again in this podcast. But Rod, I do have to say something, and then I'm pass it on, and I'll let you get back. But how do you put it solely on your defense, right?
Because
your offense, who's the number one scoring offense?
I believe it is the Cowboys.
Okay. So,
yeah, we do. Yeah, we're the number one scoring offense.
When a team scores,
right,
is it make it, take it, or how does it work? Does the other team get an opportunity to get the ball back?
I have a retort for that. So here's the thing, right? The problem with, though, however, being the number one scoring offense, but like any good offense, you got to get rhythm. Dallas was never really able to get in rhythm. Dak missed Cook, clearly had a good shot. He had his man beat by 4 yards. That should have been a touchdown. Had him connected right there.
Okay.
But the problem is, and I'm not saying that there's no validity to what you're implying in your question, but what I'm saying is that you got to get a rhythm. Dallas didn't have enough. They never had a lot of ball control. In the third quarter alone, we only had one possession in the whole third quarter. So we had no way to really get into a rhythm to get things moving. And then we had when they scored, right, which should only been 3 points, but it ended up to be 7 because of the DeMarcus Lawrence roughing the passer. Dallas could have, we actually, on that same play where he missed Cook, we still drove down the field. And we were doing well. Tyler Smith gets called for holding. Dak brings us back. Dak takes a bad sack. Now we got a punt. So that was a drive killer right there. So again, Dallas, the offense never really got into a rhythm is what I'm really trying to say. We never was able to really get the ball and really do some things. The defense did not hold up, and they were tired, and they ran the ball on us. I mean, from pin pulls and just gushing it right down, and all the plays are back on the end, going on the ends and stuff like that. We just weren't there, and there was poor tackling on the defense. So to me, this game was on the defense all day long. It was on the defense. I'm not saying the offense shouldn't have still performed a little bit better than what they did, but it's hard when you don't get the time of possession. They just couldn't get, and that's the way to beat Dallas, right? And I would imagine Miami's going to do the same thing next week. They're going to end up running Aiken and Mostert, and that's what they're going to end up doing.
But there is a responsibility on the offensive end to have prolonged, extended drives, just like Buffalo was able to do. I was the whole time, because I had on my fantasy team, I had Aubrey, and I'm looking for him to at least get in field goal range.
He got you 4 points.
Dak didn't have an offensive touchdown. We got to kind of talk about that a little bit. He didn't throw a touchdown, did he?
That's all right. No,
where was CD Lamb?
That's okay. Lamb had over 100 yards receiving. And I mean, some of it was cosmetic at the end, but yeah.
So
no, I mean,
it was one of those.
It was a game where we just got.
Did he get in the end zone?
Yeah, he did. He scored He scored the last touchdown on the run. It was a run. Okay. It was a run. So he scored. But at the end of the day, Dallas did not show up for this game. They was ill prepared. They did not show up. The offense, and even when the offense was on the field, there was no movement. There was no type of creativity. There was no motion. We looked like the offense we were when we played the 49ers in the games prior to. We did not look like the offense that we had from the Chargers game up to last game against the Eagles. We look bad, and that's what it is. So yeah, he did. Of course, yeah. He definitely sold it, James. Now we all know Josh is definitely a flopper. No question about that. He's going to sell the call. He's going to flare his arms and all that crap. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And here's the thing with this, right? We were actually running the ball because the defense, and I'll say this last point, and I'll throw it back to you guys. Scrap, you can give your take on the game. I'll say this last piece there. Tony Pollard ran the ball well, actually, in those first two possessions that we had. He was running the ball really well because they got small backers. Their defense is not all of that. But again, what the scheme was, they had the too high safety shell. So with the too high shell, right, which Dak is number 6 in the league against that type of defense. And he's 7th in the league with big plays. So it's not a thing that can stop us, but for whatever reason, the play calling and the creativity wasn't there. They didn't blitz. They just rushed 4. They dropped back everybody. And they did what Bosa talked about, what the Niners did to Philly. Just drop everybody back, and it was going to let Dak dink and dunk. That's all there was. So they was not going to be killed by the big play. That was the thing coming out of Buffalo for this week. We cannot let Dak get the big plays. We were definitely afraid of that offense in the big plays because we could get big plays. And that's what they made sure it wasn't going to be the case. You can keep everything in front, get whatever you want to get, but ain't nobody coming back here getting these big plays and CD and Ferguson down the seam and all that. Nah, we're not having all that. And you got to give them credit, the way that they play their defense. But again, Dallas did not counter that. And that's the problem with some of the in-game adjustments. And then McCarthy not throwing the flag to challenge. I tell you, this is a bad therapy session. I don't feel like I'm getting my therapeutic attention the way I need.
I feel like you got a lot off your chest, man. Well, I want to say what I need to say to Don is,
I did.
Thanks for putting this session up on Groupon and giving us a 2-for-1. We appreciate. We know your time is valuable,
Facts.
man.
Yes, we do,
and we appreciate it.
We appreciate that. Yes.
What I will say, Rod, you made some good points about rhythm, but like that old song say, rhythm is a dancer. Like, y'all look bad from the beginning, bro. Like, and the thing about it, I can't even tell you about the whole game because I stopped watching because I was forward Lawrence watching. I'm just like, oh my goodness, like the carnage. You saying about the 23 package and 22 package, they went 21 savage on y'all, man. It was just, I'm just watching it and I'm like normally, like, you know what, to be honest with you, normally, like, if I'm watching a game, right, a game like the other day when Dallas just got, destroyed, like, I normally laugh at stuff like that. I actually felt bad. Like, I felt bad for y'all, man.
Well, don't let the Eagle fans hear you say that now.
I'm a person. I have feelings. You cut me, I bleed.
You got to be the only Philly fan with feelings and who's actually a person.
I felt bad. I mean, I was glad y'all won, but y'all lost, but I felt bad for y'all after a while. Like, I would have been fine with them, keeping it around like, 17-3, 21-3. But when they start going up in the 30s, I'm like, now this is just wrong. Like, this is just wrong. Like, I don't believe they did y'all like that. But that's why I'm here too, man. Like I just want to talk about abusive relationships, man. Like, you are clearly in an abusive relationship. They say they love you. They don't love you.
They don't love me.
Look at your eye. That's not love.
That's not love, right? That's what they would
Thank
tell the victim. That's what you got, right?
That's not love. Look at your eye. But no, I mean,
Yeah, you're right, bro.
the thing
And
about
Josh Allen only threw the ball, 16 times?
15 times. That was it.
Yeah.
That was
Well, he
it.
didn't have to.
He didn't need to.
He didn't have
He didn't
I
have
mean,
to.
He didn't need to.
Cook, 175 yards on the ground.
You know what?
246 altogether.
I
Yeah.
think they need to. I think they need to investigate Cook to make sure that was actually James and not Dalvin. I think Dalvin might have suited up because that dude was doing
looked like
whatever
Dalvin
he
in
wanted.
Minnesota.
Look good.
Yeah,
Yes,
looked,
he did,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, we looked
I hope
bad,
they drug
son.
test him or something. They need to drug test him or something because he was just like the way he was dragging people. I'm like, oh my goodness, man.
Yeah,
I had to watch like this. I'm like, this with my fingers through the oh my god, this is carnage. Yeah. But just like when we got beat down, we got the brakes beat off us.
Mm-hmm.
It only counts as one loss, man. So you keep that
But how
chin
many
up
times can you guys tell yourselves that? Like,
every time.
you know, yeah, I guess every time.
As often as we have to, that's it.
Win one for the Gipper. Like, you got to keep it.
It's only one loss.
Yeah, it's only one. And from the Eagles standpoint, which we're about to kind of talk about, 3 in a row. And so we've been there, right? It was a long time ago, but we've been there where we had 3 in a row and everybody was all but ready to throw dirt on us and we were finished. So I want to take this opportunity to tell you, you know, it's not over until it's over, man. Keep your head up.
Keep your head up,
you
Rod.
have an opportunity. No. Rod hasn't lost 3 in a row. We're talking about the 3
I haven't lost 2 in a row.
Oh, you moved on to me now.
We're about to get to you.
We're about to get to you.
Rod, do you feel that we have given you...
Yeah,
No.
I thought we was wrapping him
No,
up. That's
wrap him up.
You know,
Wrap
the
him
whole.
up.
No, I thought we was wrapping up the. You know, when you told him keep his head up, I'm like, yeah, keep your head up, right? I know I'm next,
Tupac,
but you know,
man, Tupac.
yeah, I thought we was I thought we was coaching our brother back to health.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry.
and you know what, Jack? Overall, I'll say this: the fact that the run game and the pass game was really not effective, that says a lot moving forward. I mean, we're gonna talk. We may touch on Detroit, but Detroit looked good. We were all wrong about Detroit. We thought that Detroit was going to lay an egg, and Detroit actually balled out. They looked really good. Sam Laporta, 3 touchdowns. I had said anytime touchdown for Laporta. Also, Gibbs, he got in. I mean, so they looked really good. But when you look at the teams now, the pecking order of what we think it is, right? We think that it's, you know, the Niners. I mean, we'll differ amongst ourselves, but we think Niners, Eagles, Cowboys. I think that the NFC East is still up for grabs. I mean, it helped you guys that the Eagles lost 2, but the Eagles have an easier schedule down the stretch. And
they do. Go ahead.
And you still have some difficult. Next week is going to be difficult. I mean, Miami looked impressive, albeit against the Jets, but this is without Tyreek. Now, are they being truthful about how long Tyreek's injury will be? Now, I think beating up on the Jets that really don't have an offense is one thing. Beating up against the Cowboys with no Tyreek, I think might be a different subject or a different story altogether. They're going to need Tyreek. I mean, Jalen Waddle, he balled out. The run game now, if they take a page, and people hate when I say this. I'm in another chat, I'll say that we got, you know, the Cowboys or whoever is taking a page from our book. Shout out to Keith. You know, Keith Crow. Yeah, so he'll be like, nah, I don't want to hear that. We didn't take a page. We were doing this before, you know, before the earth was formed. We were doing it. I got it. But I'll say this. If Miami takes a page from, they've seen it. They've already seen how you can run on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
If they see how the 49ers did it, if they see how just attacking the middle of the field, running the ball, motion. Certainly, we know Miami does a ton of motion. They're our baby brothers, right? And they mimic everything. They want us to, they follow us around, and whatever we try to do, they do. So you know that there's going to be a ton of motion.
Absolutely.
And if Tyreek doesn't play, all the more motion. They're going to try to utilize everything to make up for that speed and explosiveness. Yeah. So you guys might have your hands full. Now, we would say that the Eagles have an easy schedule, but we don't know. The games that we just thought was an automatic, Seattle without Geno, you would think that's an automatic, right?
Yeah.
But what happens? You know, the team just plays. They stay close. I think we'll talk about them in a minute. I'll kind of break down what I seen in the game and how I thought it wasn't. They didn't. You have to put a team away. A team that has. I mean, they're playing for something, but they have nothing to lose, right? They're just playing spoiler, if anything. Mm-hmm. You have to put those teams away, and when you play around with those teams, those type of things happen. That exactly, you know, JSN catch, it happens, and you give Locke the drive of his lifetime. He's teary-eyed, and you know, talking about he was almost getting ready to say they wrote me off, but I didn't write back. I was like, hold on now. You can't plagiarize Geno's speech. But I mean, that was an explosive, that was a great drive. That was he excelled in that 2-minute offense. And I mean, what can you say? But anything else about the Cowboys, Rod? I just want to make sure you feel good.
No, I'm gonna say honestly though, I don't feel the way I felt after the 49er game. Other than to say that I felt we another fight along drives, keeping the defense on the side. Right, exactly. Yeah. It felt like he was running the ball. I think he's still talking about the Buffalo game and Cowboys. Yeah. I mean, the run scheme, and I know we'll talk more about it on Saturday when we do the next show, when we do the previews for next week's game, and so we'll break it down a little bit more. But yeah, I am concerned about Miami because they can run the ball and they can't throw the ball. So that's a major challenge for us. But as far as the Bill game go, it's disappointing that we got out schemed the way we did, and there was no real adjustments. I think there was some subtle adjustments, but not enough to change because we can't change out our linebackers. Like, we can't call Bill Parcells in the 3-4 defense. We can't get Pepper Johnson and Carl Banks and these guys because, you know, Parcells always loved the big. And there's reasons why he liked big linebackers, right? Because he believed in linebackers can stop the run. And so we got small guys. We got hybrid guys back there. Remember, we lost DeMarion Overshown, our third-round draft pick, who was balling in preseason, towards ACL, and then, of course, now in preseason. But he was out. So he was balling.
So you had an opportunity. You knew that there was, because somebody said on this show, Cowboys don't need to get nothing, right? And we have people in the chats. We don't rent players. Well, what's his name that says that? How many rentals are you gonna have? How many times are you gonna rent a player?
I remember that too.
Talking about the Niners. This is
that's
the
a good point.
why.
No, you're right. No, I agree. I agree with that.
When you have an opportunity to retool for depth, you can, kind of scoff at, oh, why'd you pick up this person? Why'd you pick up for these reasons?
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
I heard you say that earlier.
I did say that. No, I did say that.
But being cheap will always bite you in the butt.
It came back to bite us. I mean, to get some guys in there. I just think we need to probably. Evans is a big linebacker. We just need to play him a little bit more. Dan Quinn likes to do his package with a nickel package. He likes to have 5 DBs in the game. In some instances, almost 6. Where he'll even go with maybe 1 or 5 rather. So he'll have 1 linebacker in there, and that's really that's just how he's been playing the game. But it's gonna hurt you when you got small 205-pound linebackers trying to withstand the blocks of 330-pound linemen coming at you. So it's not a good look. We got to see what we're gonna do against Miami. It's gonna be interesting to see, and even going forward the rest of the year, teams are gonna try to do it. The only way. But here's the thing. I'm gonna say this and I'm done. I promise. Mm-hmm. But remember, and this didn't happen in the Buffalo game, to your point, Don. So I know what you're going to say, but let me say this. But the only way to really run effectively on us is you do have to stop our offense. Because if we go berserk and score and come out the gate and really do what we need to do, you're not going to be able to commit to the run the way Buffalo did. So a lot of teams were not able to run against us with good backs because they could not stop the Dallas offense. So that's going to, and Detroit's defense is not great. Their back end is suspect. Okay, so we could throw in their back end, and then against Miami, I still think we could throw in their back end. Corey's already starting talking junk with Ramsey and all that stuff. It's cool, but listen, like I said, we're gonna see how it's gonna go. But I'm not upset. Right. I mean, the Eagles lost, so that took a little sting off it. You know what I mean?
Don't bring us into that.
The whole time I was watching the Cowboys game, I was
your sleep, wake up out of your sleep, wake up. Command you in the name of
him. The Lord clearly didn't hear that command.
The offense needed to wake up.
We never woke up. No, you're right. The offense. No, that's a good one.
And
like
so
yeah.
the question is, will you be able to put up enough points? Because we know Miami can score.
We will.
So if you're now saying that you're blaming the defense, and Miami should apply a good amount of pressure for you guys to keep scoring, because once again.
But if you have to pass the ball against Dallas, that's where you're going to run into your problems, because our pass rush, we still lead the league in pressures. We can rush the pass. That's the strength of our defense, is when you got to drop back and throw. Nobody wants to do that against Dallas.
Tua gets the ball out of his hands fast.
It don't matter.
Really quick.
It don't matter. It doesn't matter how quick. Our rush is coming. It don't matter. And our DBs, we got one of the best corner covers in the game, and we could defend the pass. I'm not worried about that.
You know what?
I love our chances against quarterbacks that want to throw versus a running team.
I feel good about this therapy
nobody's
session.
wilding out on us. We don't give up 500-600 yards a game.
His shoulders, because at first his shoulders were like it was just
now
like a hanger.
Back. Yeah,
his shoulders were straight down.
He fixed the hanger.
Talking about what they're gonna do next week.
Yeah,
because you started bringing. See, my therapist. See, that's what but that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take me out the doldrums.
Feeling good about this.
And you're supposed to bring me up to that sense of confidence where I can start talking smack again. That's where I got to be again. Yeah. And you're doing your job. See, this discount is working, man.
I commend y'all for not being violent, because y'all did like Martin Luther King. They hit y'all in the face and y'all turned the other cheek, and then they hit y'all in that cheek too. Thank you.
Hey, that's what you got to do. You know, got to turn the other cheek, man.
There's Dash out there.
Yeah, y'all ran out of.
Yeah, we do miss Van Dash. We do. Yeah, we do. Really should have beat Philly to the punch on that Leonard side. No, because Leonard is trash. He ain't done nothing. You saw him last night. Leonard is trash.
You only saying that because he didn't side with y'all. You only saying that.
I mean, honestly, I think there's a reason why the Colts let him go, and I think we're gonna see more of the reasons why. Trust me, he ain't gonna do nothing with the Eagles. The Eagles got more problems than Leonard wasn't gonna come in and fix that trash defense. That wasn't gonna happen.
Oh my goodness! Now
he wasn't gonna fix it. He wasn't going to change anything.
I got him all the way back. He's back.
That's right. I'm back now.
I'm back.
We came in the same group, man. You could have paid for your own session for all this.
Mission accomplished. Now, to turn our focus and direction on Scrap, to bring him up, because he's looking sad.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm gooder than good.
Yeah.
No, but see, you gotta accept it. You gotta accept it, man.
That's the first
step. Accept the help.
Right. That's the first step. Right.
You gotta accept the help.
I've been here before.
You gotta first say, "Hey, listen, I have a problem," and that problem is Jalen Hurts. I have a problem. It's our run defense. We can't stop anybody. Like those, my corners. That's the problem. You got to be able to accept that. That way you can actually get help. Not this season so much, but next season. But I will say this, to the Eagles' credit, at least they made an effort, an attempt to bulk up deficiencies that they saw. They weren't standing on their perch thinking that their team was solid and they had everything they needed. Everybody needs help. Nobody is self-made, right? So the fact is, I appreciate that I appreciate the Eagles trying that, and the Cowboys, because of their nature of being number one, cheap, number two, feeling like we drafted well enough and we're going to just rock out with what we have, to their detriment most often than not. But the Eagles, I'll say this, Jalen Hurts, these aren't excuses, these are facts. Jalen Hurts was under the weather, whether he had COVID or flu-like symptoms. It was to the point where he had to travel separately.
Shouldn't have played then, but go ahead.
But of course, these games being so pivotal and important, if you can go, and you're thinking against Seattle, a 75% Jalen Hurts should be able to beat a GENO-less Seattle team. That's what you're thinking. And this game is important, just as important for Seattle's chances potentially of making the playoffs. It's important for because the number one seed and the division is still in the balance. So I understand him pushing to play. He came in and he didn't look like, when I saw and they showed him on the bench, he didn't look like himself. Now, he does seem to always be kind of focused, and he's not a lot of laughing and joking on the sideline. But he seemed a little like weak, like gaunt almost. He was kind of sitting there. He had the hood on and he was looking a little. But the problem is that these games are defining games. And do I think Mariota, right? That's your backup, right?
One of them.
Do I think Mariota would have made a difference? No. I think the Eagles, I mean, you guys already had your bye, so you don't have anything to retool, but you made changes, and let Rod tell it. He compared our defensive coordinator coming down from the booth to the field as a desperate move. Well, do you consider Matt Patricia now calling the plays and them sending the defensive coordinator up to the booth? Do you consider that a desperate play? I say yes. I think Sirianni is now, because he has written so many checks that potentially his rear can't cash. He's trying to shuffle and make these different bold moves because the defense is the problem. Now, the offense is flowing, but maybe because Jalen Hurts was sick, maybe because he didn't have his strength, but he ran the ball really well. He was gashing them for big chunk plays. Mm-hmm. It's just not getting the ball in your playmakers' hands. And you have to go within the flow of the offense. You can't force feed A.J. Brown. I don't care how much he's looking and taking his helmet off and looking around. You have to hit the players that are open. And the Eagles, they don't have a lot of motion. They don't really do anything, like nothing exotic that's going to fool you. Like, you got Swift. They may do that a little bit. If there's an opening, Jalen Hurts is going to run. He's going to look. He's going to hit Goddard in the middle of the field. He may hit Devontae. He's going A.J. Brown. But overall, it's not anything where you are thrown off. If you are disciplined as far as your defense, you can just seek that out and kind of shut that down. And that's what I saw. I like Seattle without Geno. They ran the ball pretty effectively enough, and then Metcalf for the major part of the game was kind of shut down. And then he started to open up. There was two pass interference calls. Then they started peppering him with passes. So he started getting, and he's one of those type of receivers where you got to keep him active. But the good thing about it, this particular game, although he wasn't getting the ball, I didn't see no helmets being thrown on the sideline. I didn't see steam coming out of nostrils. So that helps in the grand scheme of things. So I think the Eagles are in trouble. I say all that to say the Eagles are in trouble. And what do you say, Scrap? Your session has begun, and you have as long as you need. I'm not like Rod. I'm not going to start off down on the bottom floor and then end up on the roof and then jump off. Now, what I will say is, right, last night was probably the most Eagle-like loss that I've I'm like, all right, this is the Eagles that I've been seeing over the years. Because like I told you guys, maybe a couple weeks ago, I told you, as Philly fans, we always brace ourselves for impact. We always just sitting there waiting for the letdown. I'm still waiting for a report to come out that we got to give them the Lombardi Trophy back because somebody did something crazy. It's like that's the type of luck that we have. But through all of this, right, what I will say is, like, I'm a fanatic or whatever, but when I take off the green glasses and I look at it like from a regular fan, the Eagles been really trying to tell us what they are all season. Well, trying to tell me, because apparently y'all knew already, but the Eagles been trying to tell me what they are the whole season. They like, look, we're going to try to score. Our defense sucks. So when you sitting there saying about the defense, oh, what about your corners? What about that? I'm like, we already went through this already. We know what the defense is. So we got to focus on the offense. Now, what I will say about the Matt Patricia move, I don't think that was a Nick Sirianni move. I think that came from over his head, because Nick has what is it?
Now, he did say in the press conference that he said, I made that decision. He was very adamant. I know he has to say that, but you believe it was from up top?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because he he's like loyal. He has a loyalty to his coaches, Right. Dan Gannon, Jonathan Gannon last year, every time he messed up a game, Nick came out publicly, oh, I support him 100%. He's a great coach and all that, even though Gannon was horrible, So with that being said, I feel like the defense played good to an extent. Like the defensive plays worked until they didn't work, right? With the last drive, like when he got the ball back, I said, of course they're going to score. Because it was plays like what is the Sweat was like a half a step away from sacking him. And of course he went like it seemed like in that moment during that last drive, he realized that nobody can stop DK. It's like the commercial, DK, have it your way. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Like
you rule.
Exactly.
You rule.
Right. Like DK doesn't have like a 30-foot catch radius for nothing. Like you throw the ball anywhere he is on the near where he is on the field, he's going to come down with the ball. And I pretty much knew the game was over when he made that catch when he's like laying on the ground and the ball was like up against his leg. And I'm like,
that was Julian Edelman type of weird, that was one of those crazy catches.
Right. Or like the helmet catch with the dude on the Giants. So I'm like, I'm sitting there, right, and everything that happened, like I wasn't even mad after it. I'm just the thing that made me mad is like when my fellow Eagle fans get on social media and try to blame the refs for stuff that don't matter. They say on the first interception, Love was pulling Quez's jersey. I'm like, okay, if the ref don't throw a flag, it's not a call. You can't keep blaming the refs when you come up short. When you do stupid stuff, you can't blame the refs. Yeah, he grabbed his jersey, but if the ref don't call it, it's not a call. The refs called like I think they wanted to go how baseball is now, thinking of going with the robots. They want every single call. They want every single call called for them, but none called against them. I'm like, stop blaming the refs. The refs have nothing to do with nothing at the end of the day. Okay. If we were moving the ball before, he decided to, try to go for the home run. But right after that, I posted on my page, and I'm out of jail now so y'all can see it. I said, nothing good comes out of throwing the ball to Quez Watkins. Nothing good comes out of it.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Exactly. Nothing good comes out of it. Exactly. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, nothing good comes out of throwing the ball to Quez Watkins. So why are we even looking at him? I don't care if he's wide.
Down the stretch, you should be looking at Goddard, Brown, and Devontae.
Those are the only three.
Swift out of the backfield.
And Swift out the backfield.
Short-handed people that are going to catch
even
it.
Even Gainwell, you can give some opportunity.
Exactly. Even Julio, it's like.
Yeah, even Julio.
I throw it out of bounds before I throw it to Quez Watkins. Yes, like I don't even understand how he got his job back. But all right, now fast forward to the last drive. Okay, we let them score. Jalen comes out. He gets a big chunk play, big running play for about 20-something yards. And then the very next play, he tries to go deep again. Like, we did not need that. Okay. Now, like I'm not the quarterback. Okay. So I'm not on the field. I don't know what he sees. I don't know if he looked over, saw Gainwell wide open and said, no, I'm going for the home run because this is the moment that's going to define me. Right. Listen, you got to take what they give you. We still had our timeouts. All we needed was maybe about 20 to 25 yards to be in field goal range.
And you got a great kicker. Elliott.
Exactly. That's what I'm about to say for our kicker. So like sometimes you like we've been saying all season, you gotta take what they give you. Like you can't be greedy, especially with that. And Hurts is not a good long ball thrower anyway. Like he could throw the ball there, but he always throws it late. Like if you haven't noticed, when he throws the long ball, his receiver's already there and they're turning around looking back for the ball. He gotta throw it when what's a toonie? What's a toonie, JD?
Philly has a toonie.
Oh yeah, well yeah, well that's apparently Brian Johnson is like one of Hurts' boys, so yeah, I agree. But when I blame him, it's called an excuse. So that's why I didn't even mention him.
I would have thought it would be an excuse.
No,
but I said that.
I think it's a loss at the end. It's still an L, but whatever. Listen, this is a safe place. This is a safe space, as I told Rod, and I know you guys don't like to share therapy sessions, but I want to make it clear to you that we're in a judgment-free zone. This is Planet Fitness. Judgment-free zone. You can clunk. You can drop weights.
I don't have to clunk anything. I don't have to drop any weights because I'm not even holding no weights. Like I've said this a million times. Like our offense is not even vanilla. It's more salt than pepper. It's nothing hot about it. It's nothing's going to sting you. All it does is drive up our blood pressure watching them do it. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, like we gotta stick to what works. We was running the ball great. Like we were running the ball good. We're getting yards. Oh no, we don't got him. He the dude.
No,
he's
saying a toonie. That's what a toonie.
Toonie is saying Tony,
an
but
example
Toonie.
of a toonie, like Kadarius Toney.
Kadarius Toney, a cartoon.
Okay, JD with the play on words. Look at you.
You know,
look at you, JD.
Right.
Kudos to you. Yeah. So like I said, we got to win out, and then everybody's 0-0. Then we'll we gotta fix the offense, because like I said, the defense is unfixable. Like it's nothing you can do to that defense to make it. But what I can say, some bright spots is that kid that started for Slay, Ringo. He actually was making tackles. Like we were actually tackling. There was none of that quick 5-6 yard catch, 95-yard run business last night. Like they were actually getting the guys on the ground. So I mean, if you want to find a silver lining,
he dominated in defeat.
No, he didn't dominate in defeat, but he kept the guy from getting a zillion yards after the catch. Like the first drive, it was like 3rd and 12, and he had DK on a slant. And he got him on the ground immediately. Like I mean that kind of stuff. I mean that's stuff that you can build on. I wouldn't put too much stock into it, but that's stuff that you could actually build on into your defense. So. I mean, like I said, our defense is horrible. Our defense is trash, whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. But like, we gotta fix the offense. Like that's what's gonna take us as far as we go. It's gonna go on the offense. But real quick, before we do anything, I gotta give a birthday shout out to my nephew, Makai Moopa Gordon. That's E's son. That's that's E's son. My all public running back last 2 years. He's up in East Stroudsburg now, celebrating his birthday. Nephew, I love you. Enjoy your day, nephew. I'm gonna call, text you later. Expect the Cash App soon.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, man. That's what's up. What's his name again? Scrap.
Makai Gordon. Yeah. Bradbury hasn't gotten lazy. Brandon Bradbury is what he is. He's horrible. Like
he's bad.
He's bad. He's horrible. He's horrible. And I wasn't surprised when it was him that dude caught the ball on him. Now what I was surprised is how the safety bit, because it was a safety back there. I don't know if it was the rookie Jones, but it was somebody back there. You saw them come running up, and then Jackson Nagliba, whatever his name is, ran right by him. And then
Jackson,
he had Bradbury.
Oh, for the touchdown,
Yeah, for the touchdown. Yeah, like the most important play of the game,
Right.
Like the safety, for some reason, I don't know what the safety saw that made him run up. But like, they got to get to what's behind you, the end zone. I thought Bradbury was in the. I thought we got him from the Giants. Then Bradbury
from the Giants too.
Yeah, Bradbury came from the Giants, unless it's a different Bradbury. You're talking about Cadbury. Remember the bunny? The Cadbury bunny. He's talking about the Cadbury.
He's stupid.
They force feed Brown.
Yeah, he came from the Giants. He came from the Giants.
I agree.
I know he came from the Giants.
He did play with the Panthers, though. He did play the Panthers, then the Giants. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He played 3 years with the Panthers.
Okay. Well, that's when he was young,
Yeah.
I mean, that's when he was young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he played okay. No, he's not. Not no more. He's not. So take that is and make it was. Bradbury was talented. He is what he is. He stinks, bro. He stinks.
Yeah, he's bad. That's
stinks.
a major digress, though. Yeah, from being an second team.
But the thing about it is, we can't even cut him. We stuck with him for 2 more years, because if we cut him, then it's going to be, I think, 17 or 14 million.
Right?
Right, 14 million in dead cap, and then 12 million. So we're stuck with the dude. So we gotta put him out there. For the next couple of years, the Cowboys have a shot, or if somehow the Giants or Washington can retool, it may be their division to win or lose. Oh yeah. I mean,
Rod thinks he's gonna have world beaters when Diggs comes back.
Oh yeah. No one's throwing on us.
Well, like I said, it's our division to lose. We're still going to win. If we both win out, we still win the division. But
yeah. Well, go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. No, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. No, you're right.
The therapy session doesn't want to. I know you're feeling good about the therapy session, Rob, but you can't now. Become delusional
my
now.
Part. Yeah.
No. He said no. I heard him say went out. Right, so when he said went out, then I said, okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Rod trying to get back on the couch. Yo, Rod.
Yeah.
He's
scooching me over. He's like,
I'm ready to rock now, son. I'm whopping now.
Brandon, where are you from? And who's your team?
Yeah.
You know a lot about the Eagles. Are you an Eagles fan?
I'm gonna say Brandon is a Cowboy fan.
I don't know. Maybe not.
I'm taking bets on that.
I don't know.
Rapper
He
is not
trashing
old.
the Eagles though.
Slate
So
is
I don't know.
32.
Unless he's just an honest
The
Eagles
whole
fan.
secondary. Not too many of those. Not too many honest Eagle fans.
No, it's not old. Slate's 32. Well, I mean,
It is an old by NFL
that's
standards.
NFL standards.
That's old.
That's still pretty old. Yeah, that's
old.
old.
That's
32
like
is old.
you age in dog years in professional sports.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is the old secondary.
Yep. After that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that, James. I agree.
Rod likes Gilmore.
I agree with that. Gilly.
He loves Gilmore.
Gilly, listen, he's a savvy vet, man. He's a savvy vet. You know what I'm saying? That was,
and that was a good pickup.
That was a very good pickup for Dallas. No question about it.
You guys need to continue that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can't do nothing now about it. You know.
Well, I know you guys are done now, but I'm saying, when you guys are watching the Super Bowl,
we'll bring him back next year, though. We're gonna bring him back.
You guys are watching the Super Bowl, and you're watching us in victory. The Eagles should feel good about the fact that at least they tried to improve. The Cowboys should hold their heads down because they thought they were good enough, and now they're watching the Niners.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think there's really. But I'm saying, if you really think about it, I mean, yes, we could bring in some depth, and I don't disagree with that. But I mean, the guys that y'all bring in, y'all are bringing in some splash guys, but those guys, I don't know. It doesn't appear that there's a significant upgrade in anything. Like Randy Gregory and Chase Young. I don't know.
What's up? How you doing?
Yeah, Brandon, you're right though. But it's the linebackers. Well, the secondary is horrible, but it's the linebackers. Like our linebackers are horrible. So I mean, the front four is good, but the back seven is like horrible. Yeah,
your front four is good. That's about pretty much.
And Hargraves didn't even play for us. I mean, you guys feel? How do you guys feel? Like we can extend the session.
I'm straight.
Your Groupon has expired. I mean, you have used all your Groupon time. So this therapy session, I can just do it, on the house because you guys. I know you guys. I know that mental health and therapy is very important. So I don't mind extending it if you guys want to talk further. Because I can forego talking about the Niners. I mean, what is understood doesn't have to be stated, right?
I mean,
their dominance. We know what's going on. We know where we're going, right? We know where we're going to end up, right? We know we're in Vegas, right?
You're gonna end up in the dark room.
But D don't. But now D, yes, the 49ers have definitely separated themselves from everybody else.
No.
I'm coming. I gotta find a crack somewhere. It was a kink somewhere in everybody's armor. And I'm just saying,
as we win, this is the goal.
Yeah,
win.
I know
and
they have to win, stay healthy. Yeah,
that's all that we have to do.
And I totally agree with that. I'll say two things, but before I get to your Niners, though, let me just can I just say something concerning the game or just the Eagles in general? All right, and I'm glad, Scrap, that you said that. That you took off the green glasses, you stopped looking through that green lens, because I've said this since the beginning of the year. The Eagles are who they are, and they're not what everybody thinks they are, and obviously now it's all catching up to them, but. But no, all I want to say is that I feel with the Eagles, though, Scrap, this thing is more internal. This is why I think if you're not careful, you could drop that last game in New Jersey to the Giants. Because if the internal piece of this team, because here's the thing, right? Because I don't know, and y'all might fact check me on this. I don't think you can't bring in coordinators, can't bring in anybody else in, right? You can only switch guys around and like what y'all
That's
did.
What we did. Patricia was in there.
Patricia, right. And that's what y'all did, right? And I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna say this though. I don't think the defense looked as bad.
Cowboy fan, right?
No. With this foolishness, he has to be an Eagles fan.
Don't give him to us.
In Philly is coaching. Yeah, it is. Well, definitely with the coordinators. But you can't get rid of anybody, right? What are you going to do unless you fire a guy and just promote within, right? And you probably don't have the level that you don't have anybody confident to do that. But I'm going to tell you the truth. The defense, I don't even think the personnel. I don't even think Matt Patricia at the end of the day would have even made a difference. Although I think your defense still played a little bit better yesterday than what they've played in recent weeks with the magnanimous amount of yards that they give up every week. Y'all actually played a lot better considering, but y'all don't have the personnel. The personnel is that bad. So no matter what schemes you put them in, it's not going to work. But I just feel like the Eagles is something more internal. That's what I think.
Right.
Philly, they could be set if they get rid of Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson has been bad, and your offense is bad. Like Don said, it's unimaginative. There's nothing exotic, and y'all can't get the ball to your playmakers. You know what I'm saying?
Brandon,
and now,
who is your team,
what you call it's got to play.
Who
is
we still
trying to find
team?
out Brandon's team. Brandon, tell us your team, man.
I already told y'all his team. I already told y'all his team.
He still ain't said yet.
I'm just waiting on confirmation.
Yeah, listen.
Guys are saying they have only beat 2 teams above 500. Yeah, and the Niners only beat 3 teams above 500. So
that's
called
accurate.
That's accurate.
That's called delusion. James.
What teams
did
you beat above 500? You only beat 3 teams above 500. 3 teams.
Not accurate.
That's not accurate. How is that not accurate?
At the
How
time
can you unprove that?
When we play teams and we beat them, we're not talking about what they do now.
You can't go by a team you played in week 1. Nobody was above anything
No, I'm
in
not
week
talking about
1.
week 1. I'm not talking about week 1.
So he's talking about.
Okay, so we beat the Eagles, right? We beat the
Eagles,
Cowboys, right?
We beat the Cowboys.
We beat the Jaguars, right?
We beat the Jaguars.
The first time we played Seattle, they had a winning record. We beat them, right?
Okay, no. It don't go like that, D. It goes by the now.
Them.
But D, we're talking about the record they're standing now.
That's a ridiculous
so what it said? I'm gonna tell you why. Because here's what it means. It means that though you may have beat them when they had a winning record, but it only goes to show that team was not that they weren't really what their record was because they plummeted. So beating the Seahawks back in week 3. What did he say?
The fact that he refuses to say, Brandon, simple question. I know
you're Brandon. Well, we know he ain't a Dallas fan. He ain't a Dallas fan. He's an Eagle fan.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know what he is. Brandon, we're asking you, who is your team? We just want because everybody has identified who their team is, right? So who is your team?
James. It doesn't matter that a winning record at the time. That means nothing at the time.
It does.
When we say, okay, so when we say, all right, so I can say, all right, so we beat the Rams then. So the Rams are at 500, right? The Rams are at 500. If the Rams beat them,
winning record.
No, but what I'm saying is I can inverse that too. I could say that they weren't a 500 team then, but now they are. So I could get to say, hey, we beat a team over 500. What's the difference?
It's a big difference.
It's not because when somebody says you didn't win against a team over 500, you're talking about their record now. You're not looking. You're not talking about their record when you play them.
Well, what else do you got to go on when you play them?
Because you're making the argument in the now based on their record.
We have accelerated teams that were winning. Jacksonville they won 5 in a row. After they played us, they have lost 3 in a row.
But they're still above 500. But they're 2 games over 500 though. They're still in fact, and they're going to most likely.
We're talking about when we face a team and they have a winning record. That's when it matters. Now, if they fall off the cliff after, that is none of our business. But if we play a team and they have a winning record,
mean when they say
that's not what you mean.
Teams.
No, that's not what Cowboys
mean. The
prevailing
theory is when you say a team has beaten a team. How many teams have you beaten over 500? Like that post you put in the chat. That's over the course of the year, not at the time you beat a team. They're talking about the course of the year, not when you play them in week 3 versus week 11. It's a team where they stand now. We're looking at teams that were once good, now not good. Teams that were once bad, but now they're good. So when you take that all into account, you're then adding up their wins and losses based on what their record stands now, not what their record was back in week 4 when you played them. That's not what that means. That post you sent in our chat yesterday is about Dallas not beating teams over 500. That's for the course of the year. That's not where they stand now. That's you can't. Okay, that argument doesn't make sense. What y'all saying makes no sense. That's not what people mean when they say that. They're talking about the course of the year. Come on, y'all know that. You can't. Y'all 3-2 against team 500 against teams above 500. Y'all 3-2. 3-2.
Okay, listen.
You lost to Cincy. You lost to Cleveland. Teams that are over 500. So you lost to 2 teams that are over 500. So y'all only 1 game better than anybody else in that sense.
Whatever works out for you, whatever makes you feel more comfortable about the state of the Cowboys, I'm fine with that. At 3-2, fine.
They are.
That was wild. That was a wild explanation, Rod. That was wild, bro.
So you mean to tell me that chat what D put in the chat about Dallas not beating 500 teams? You think they're talking about in the now, or they're talking about for the whole year? So how you gonna accumulate a record if you don't put all the games in this season into that record? think about it. That's just common sense. That doesn't make any sense.
So
that
so
means
it
you
doesn't
only,
matter.
you only beat a 500 team from week to week. It's the record. A record accumulates
ultimately,
the season.
It's the record. But my question to you is, when we face a team, the records or what their record is coming into that game does not matter. That doesn't hold any weight if they're a team with a. So basically, you're saying if the Jaguars lose out and we beat them and they had a winning record and people were saying that they could have the win out or be the number one in the AFC. The fact that when we beat them, they had a winning record, and now if they lose out and they have a losing record or they're 500, that shouldn't count. That's what you're saying. Based on your logic, that shouldn't count.
Well, no, because if the record is good, no, but that would change by the end of the year. Then you adjust that record by the end of the year. But if you're going
let's just
by
say
what's
when
now,
we played them, let's say they were 6-1 when we played them, and we beat them, and let's just say they lose all the rest of their games,
right? And they end up with a losing record.
Then
and if they end up with a losing record, right? Yeah, go ahead, finish your thought.
But based on your logic, we shouldn't count that as a team that we beat with a winning record.
No, it would not be, because what will happen is when you start to do, when you accumulative put all of the records together now that the season's over, now you're going to say, when you go back into, now we go forward to 2024.
We took a step back in therapy.
No. When they go to 2024, what are they going to say? In 2024, they're going to say that you can't count the Jaguars as a team that you beat that had a winning record because they ended up with a losing record. Now that doesn't, you don't get to say, oh, we beat the Jaguars in week 8 last year when they had a winning record. How many teams you beat last year that had a winning record? And then at the time when you beat them, they ended up not even making the playoffs. That at the end of it all,
but that's not our business. That's not our business. After we face them,
right?
What
but
we
as
do,
of today,
we discard them. That's not our business.
Right? No. But that's what I'm saying. When you talk about who's beating who with over a winning team, right? A team that has a winning record, you're talking about in the now based on what has already been played. Y'all, at the way it stands today, right now, y'all have beaten 3 teams that are over 500 the way those teams stand right now, and you've lost to 2 teams that are over 500 right now. And at the end of the year, it's the numbers are gonna change. The math is different now because there's more games that played, and then the records are gonna change. So when you go into 2024, what do you think people gonna say?
Of wins against teams that are over 500.
We have we are 1-3. The only team we beat over 500 is the Eagles. That's it. That's the only team we beat over 500 that we played.
So
this
3
year.
is 3 better for the record. 3 is better than 1, right?
Sometimes. No. I'm saying no. But my point is, no, you're right. We're 1-3, y'all 3-2. But don't act like y'all been, because D, if the truth be told, y'all had an easy schedule this year. Y'all schedule ain't really been that hard. It wasn't that hard. And y'all lost to a backup quarterback in PJ Walker. No one loses to PJ Walker. Okay, y'all lost to PJ Walker. And you lost to Justin Jefferson-less Minnesota Viking team. So I'm saying, I mean, it's,
that won't stop. That take will not stop the confetti from falling on us.
No, it won't. It probably won't. It probably won't.
It will not stop us having the number 1 seed and getting a bye.
No, it will not. It will
enjoy.
Not. No, it will not. I'm not taking away from the dominance of the Niners. Like I said, I got y'all winning the Super Bowl. The Niners will win the Super Bowl. I got y'all winning. Now, of course, I want my Cowboys to upset you. But James,
we're making strides. We're trying to reverse the ship. We're getting back. The therapy is starting to work again. He is coming into his right mind. He's getting back.
I don't know what
Let me ask you, Scrap. Let me ask you a question, Scrap. If you give me your honest take on this, okay? All right.
Okay.
Do you believe the 49ers will win the Super Bowl?
I have no idea. Right now, they look like the odds-on favorite, but anything can happen from week to week.
I mean, we know that. We know anything can happen. You're right. They could get bumped in the first round. Who knows, right? They could, God forbid, which I don't want to see happen.
For the first round, we're going to be at home. We're going to be resting.
I'm saying on your first game. I mean, your first game.
Because we're going to be on the bye. So,
but what I'm saying is that
schedule, and the Cowboys have the 4th easiest. The math don't lie.
So the 49ers have the 7th hardest schedule, and the Cowboys have the 4th.
Thank you.
The 4th
appreciate
easiest.
that.
And the Eagles got the first.
Now, based on what? That was really based on what? It's
always based on last year and how deep you go.
Again, which is only proving my point, right? So a lot of teams, but a lot.
It's not our problem either. We had a tougher schedule because we got further into the playoffs. I mean, I don't understand what's going on.
Right. No.
See,
I'm saying. Yeah.
Brandon, listen, Brandon. I don't mind putting up your quotes, but just answer this question. Who is your team? Who is your team? Are you a Falcon? Please say are you a Falcons fan?
He might be a
No, he's not a Falcons fan.
He might be.
He wouldn't even be talking if he was a Falcons fan.
No, he can talk. They talk. When I lived in Atlanta, they talk. Yeah. And they talk from a non-ringless feeling, like that you can hear the hollowness in their chest when they're talking. There's no hardware. So yeah, they can talk. I just want to know who it is though. Who's your team, so we can kind of bring you into the conversation. So far, judging by record, I think, James, you're right. We've had, Rod is always going to try to take away from a dominant team. And even if we just base it off of this, we have played some of the same teams. We played Arizona, right? You guys lost to Arizona. We played Seattle twice, dominated Seattle. The Eagles lost to Seattle. So, and of course we played the Eagles, Cowboys. You split with them. We dominated them. Eagles, we played the Cowboys. We blew the doors off of them. So if you think of it from that standpoint, we are way better than both of your teams. So you can say,
I'm not knocking that. No, I agree with that.
It doesn't matter. We lost to whoever the backup was, and Justin Jefferson, and he wasn't there. It could be George Jefferson. We still are 11-3. End of story.
Yeah, I'm not refuting that. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just trying to put in context, though, when people love to say, oh, well, Dallas hasn't beat a team over 500. And like I often tell everybody, you're going to play more bad teams than good teams every year.
More injury risk. This dude is from Washington. He is a Commanders fan. He has to be. And he's mad because we have poached all of the Washington players and made them shine. He's either a Carolina fan, and this is the last Brandon thing I pull up, because Brandon refuses.
Yeah, Brandon refuses.
Brandon
messing with us.
And say who he is. Yeah, exactly. Let me take Brandon down. All right, Brandon.
But
you don't want to play ball. That's fine. We will.
It's all good. He'll tell us before the show ends. Before the show ends, he'll say. But that is the only thing, D, that would stop y'all, in my opinion, is the health. I think if you got a healthy 49er team across the board, then I think that's obviously put y'all in the driver's seat to win it all. My only concern with y'all is, again, you want to stay healthy.
You shouldn't have any concerns with us.
But
you should be concerned about Dak Prescott, his turnovers.
Yeah, I am. No turnovers. No turnovers for Dak. You're talking to the wrong box. That's the guy next to you in the other box. Jalen Hurts, who leads the league in turnovers.
I thought Dak had some turnovers. He didn't have
Dak ain't got no turnovers. See, y'all so used to that narrative, but that's and that's how it is with Dak.
Last game.
Oh yeah, one turnover. The game was already decided.
What are we talking about? I just asked you.
One pick. He had one pick. Yeah, he did. He had one pick. So we mean his. But you're saying it as if there's been a problem with Dak's turnovers. No, you say his turnovers. You say his turnovers.
I said he deflected that. That's called deflection.
Yeah,
it's not deflection. It's called reality. Jalen Hurts leads the world.
But he wasn't talking to me. He was talking to you.
No, but he said turnovers as if Dak has problems with turning the ball over. Dak has no turnover issues.
He led last year, right?
Last year. See, that's what talk to Josh Allen and talk to Jalen Hurts about turnovers. Those are the guys that are leading the leagues in interceptions and fumbles and all that stuff. That's those guys.
Okay, Mr. Adams. Courtney. Who's your team, Courtney?
I know who his team is.
You know Courtney. You know Courtney Scratch. You know Courtney. You know.
Okay. Is it Courtney? Is it a team that we put 42 on? If it's a 42, okay, got it.
Yeah, it's a 42 team.
Yeah, Jackie Robinson. One of the Jackie Robinson teams. It's one of the Jackie Robinson teams. See, Jackie Robinson teams can't really say much. If we put 42 on you. Please.
He's one of the 42 teams.
It's like,
that's how I roll there, Courtney. Until we beat the 49ers, Eagles and Cowboys are known as 42. That's it, man.
42. That's it.
We 42. We gotta eat that. That's it.
But it's all good. I appreciate you at least saying,
hey,
who your team is. People are holding out on their team. But in any case, listen. Can we switch over, because let's talk a little bit about NBA. What's up with the Lakers putting that banner up? Like,
That's
what
trash,
is-
D.
what
You
is
said
going
it
on
last
with
week. You said it last week. You said we got to buy it. Adam Silver put a gun to their head and said, I need y'all to celebrate this and to really put some stuff. They don't really care about that. Honestly, they don't. They put the
don't
Lakers in
know.
a bad position, son. We had to put on the face, man. We don't care about that stupid banner. That banner.
So
is
if that's
trash,
the case,
man.
you don't have or allow a storied franchise like the Lakers to win it, because it really kind of dummies down their accomplishments by having that rinky-dink banner next to all those championships.
But you got to have the Lakers win it, right? Not to say it was contrived that the Lakers won,
it.
but
It was kind of.
But it was necessary for the Lakers to win. They got to win that. Yeah, you don't want Indiana winning that. No one cares. It's not gonna. What pumps it up? Why are we even talking about the in-season banner, right? Because the Lakers won it and they had to put it up on their banner. And that's not fair. I blame the NBA for that, man. He dead wrong for that. Adam Silver's dead wrong for that. Putting LeBron in the Lakers franchise in that predicament. That's not
so.
fair.
Secretly, you don't think LeBron is trying to make the case that this is one more feather in his cap? Do you think, like, in the most remote way, he thinks that this is a feather in his cap because this is another championship? Definitely little C. Under lowercase c.
No,
right next to the bubble. Right next to the bubble one.
Nah, he don't.
Because if you think about it, the bubble,
what
that
about
was
an extenuating circumstance, and then the next season, prop up championship. That's all that LeBron has brought to LA.
The bubble was
If
a
you
rec
think
league
about it.
championship,
Right.
man. Y'all
So-
came and played in the same gym. That was a rec league.
That's a
I don't
quarantine
disagree with that.
championship.
I disagree with that.
That's a quarantine championship. Like,
So
that
what?
is a
So
no
what?
fans,
So
no
San
travel.
Antonio gets up. So do you put an asterisk next to the Spurs' first championship when they won in the strike shortened season when they beat the Knicks?
No.
Do they get
were
that
the-
was strike
were the fans-
season?
Were there fans still? Was there travel?
It doesn't
involved?
matter. But
It
it's
was travel involved.
but there was
Well,
games
it was
that
home
weren't
court.
played. It was a strike
Well,
shortened
NBA
season. There was a
player-
lot of games that didn't play. Seeding would have been probably different. Who knows how that trajectory to that or that path to that championship would have been different.
47 years old. Now he's playing like he's 27,
But-
but age, travel, that matters in the grand scheme of things.
Okay,
Fans being able to cheer.
Home court
get
advantage.
in.
So what does that have to do with the skills of a player? I mean, so what? A guy can't hoop unless he's got fans around.
No,
Those are professional players.
It's easier to have a quarantine
neutral site.
championship. It's a,
a neutral site.
So
It's
if
a
it's
site.
a neutral site, then anybody could have won. So you're saying basically it's not just the Lakers. If had anybody won that championship, they would have still gotten rid
absolutely.
for having. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
It would have had
It just so happened
Okay.
that if we're
All right.
talking about what LeBron has brought to LA, he has bought a lowercase NBA title,
I
lowercase
wouldn't
C,
say that. That's
and a
too sick.
lowercase in-season championship. So both little C's.
Nah. You still got to give LeBron his business. That's still a big C. Yes, I understand your point about the quarantine and everything, and there was a lot going on in America. Everybody's mental space wasn't always tight. I get it, but I mean, there's a lot of factors you can put in there. I mean, look at Paul George, right? Look how bad he looked, right? But I'm saying at the end of the day, I mean, it's still a championship. You can't take that away. I get what you're saying. I give it some merit, but not a whole lot. But the end season, no.
can't
End
take it away,
season is
Flip.
trash. You can't take it away.
Can't change what we was.
Can't change what we was.
Can't change what we was, Flip.
Can't change what we was, Flip, for real. Nah, that's how I feel about it, man. It's all good. Was a Reebok camp.
I agree. Yeah, it was.
Nah, I mean it's I mean people gonna say what it is. I agree,
So let me
but I
ask
mean,
y'all a question.
Yeah.
Who y'all think is the MVP so far?
Let me tell you, honestly, the month of December, it's been Embiid. Embiid has put up some ridiculous numbers, but is that irritable bowel syndrome going to come up in May, in June, right? Does he need a colonic before the playoff starts? Because that's always what the situation is. Embiid is balling out. I mean, I think he has, I don't know how many games, 40-point games, high 30s, 50s. Like he's balling out.
Yeah, averaging 34. He's balling.
Yeah. So
I think we look different under this coach, but I mean I could be wrong. It could be fool's gold, but I think we look different under Nick Nurse. Actually.
Nah, Nurse is a good coach.
We look a lot different than under Doc, like because they actually look like they actually got something to play for and they're actually playing for each other. I mean that's just what I see looking at the game. But I mean I could be wrong, but he looks more focused to me, if you ask me. He's more aggressive. I don't see him taking as many threes, even though he do shoot threes every now and again. But now he's punishing the mid range and the down low more and getting to the line more. So
as he should, he should really utilize that because he's a great free throw shooter. And for the most part, who's going to really bang with him down low? Like, that's what he should. Being at the top of the key, shooting a three actually takes away from his skill set. So he needs to. Yeah, I mean, he is on some trajectory. So I think he has a great shot at winning the MVP. Now, the team as a whole, what's going to happen before the trade deadline after All-Star break? Are teams going to try to condense and try to send players away? Because quietly, the Clippers are playing really well. James Harden just had a ridiculous game, 35
on his birthday. Yeah, his birthday.
Yeah, he had a great game.
8 threes.
And they won 8 in a row, right?
Yeah.
So they're playing well. I mean, of course, we have Milwaukee. We have, there are teams that Boston, of course, they're playing.
Yeah, they're on a 5-game winning streak.
And now that they've played, and now that they have paid at least Jaylen Brown this ridiculous money, there is the clock is on, right? So now, of course, they're going to have to pay Tatum probably next year. They're going to have to get some hardware based on those ridiculous 300 plus million salaries, or somebody is going
it's
to
going to be 2 against 5.
Right.
So, they ain't got to pay nobody else.
It's going to be Brown, Tatum, Hauser, Pritchard.
right.
And they might not even be able to keep Porzingis, man. It's
gonna have to do 10-day contracts every 10 days. That's all they're going to have enough money for.
They're going to have to really, maximize and really produce. But the Lakers, it should be interesting how it goes down the stretch.
I mean, the NBA to me is hard. I mean, to your question, Scrap, about the MVP right now. I mean, like the NFL, right? It's gonna, you really, obviously, as we already know, right? The NBA, when you get down to March and April, and you playing against guys that are your contemporaries in that standing in terms of who is considered to be an MVP, that's when you really start to say, okay, this guy's separating himself because his team is winning, and Luka plays, not Luka, if Embiid plays well against a Jokic or a Giannis, right? You know what I'm saying? That's when you really say, okay, this guy's an MVP.
Luka is playing good, though.
No, Luka's balling. No, Luka's balling. I'm glad he got
Dallas is playing good even without Kyrie.
I hate the Mavericks. Yeah, they are.
Luka.
Yeah, they got smashed last night, though. Denver smashed them. I'm so glad they did.
Denver's going to beat most teams.
Yeah.
And I think Jokic only had like 8 points. Like he didn't even really play. He barely played. Or he didn't have to put up his normal, high 20s triple-double type of thing.
Yeah.
I think Denver is one of those teams that is kind of, I do think they're probably going to add a player, maybe a kind of a wing player by the trade deadline, but they're not overexerting themselves. They're kind of waiting in the weeds. So when the game really, intensifies through the playoffs and when it really, really matters, I think they're going to step it up. But we'll see what happens. I like Denver, because I think Jamal Murray is injured, right?
He's back.
He's playing.
Oh, no, he's playing.
I thought he was injured or whatever.
He was, but he's playing.
Yeah, he was, but he's back.
So they're winning without their second best player. So that speaks a lot to the way that team is. So we'll see. And one more thing, we'll swing back to football. I love that Big Dom is banned for the rest of the season. Stay up in the booth, eat a Philly cheesesteak or whatever you want. Stay. You protect the owner. Don't. You shouldn't be on the field. Get Big Dom out of there. And I think there was something else where someone else bumped somebody.
Last night. Yeah, it was
AJ Brown, right?
It was AJ Brown.
AJ Brown was
one of the
so that's probably somebody else that's going to get banned because the NFL has to protect their players. The people that's just on the sideline.
I don't know if the dude really bumped him as much as he was just talking trash to him. I don't know if the dude bumped him. I mean, he kind of brushed up against him, but it's all
now
theatrics.
Big Dom has a case. But he did this, so he should go too. So they'll probably. I mean, there's only how many games left in the season, so they may tell him that he needs to be out.
But how was Dom? How was Dom it said his title, head of security, and then he's senior advisor to the GM? Like, I don't know what does that mean?
That's just a title they gave him so he can come back onto the sideline for next year. That's probably it's all. Like I said, it's all
Okay.
theatrics, man. I don't get involved in all that, man. That's above my pay grade, man. I'm paid. You know, my pay grade is to argue about my team and hate on other teams, man.
And hate on other teams, right?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, so we are contractually obligated to talk about the 49ers. So real quick, 49ers.
Yeah.
And I can't not talk about the 49ers, but I'm going to be quick about it because
You tried, though.
Take your
You
time,
tried.
B. You tried. Yeah, he did try.
You couldn't help yourself. You tried.
I didn't want to. And I told, and now, am I lying, fellas? Last week I said we don't really have to talk about them in this game.
You said that.
You guys forced me to. So with that being said, I think the 49ers, it was a little, what I think they need to do is moving forward. I mean, Brock Purdy was top notch once again. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. You guys, your two teams can't say that. But what I think they need to do is lean on some of the, like, for CMC. At this point, we need to preserve CMC as much as possible. So get Mason in. Elijah Mitchell, I don't know. That knee, it's bulky. I don't know if he'll ever play back to that season where we first got him and he was balling out. So Jordan Mason, get up a lead on these next. We're gonna need CMC next week, obviously.
You better.
I
was about to say,
after that game, y'all need to put him in bubble wrap because he's always one hit away from.
Well, yeah,
street clothes.
I don't know.
I mean, chime in with Courtney, that's fine. But
no, I'm not. But it's the truth.
Yeah.
Do you know that Brock Purdy has an opportunity to do something that I don't know if it has never been done or it's been so far in between? What? He's able to have over 35 touchdowns, over 4,600 yards passing, have 3 receivers with over 1,000 yards. I think all we have to do in order for that to happen is Deebo Samuel has to get 218 yards, and you'll have 3 receivers over 1,000 yards. Of course, CMC, what he's doing on
Dallas
the ground.
did that too, though. 2021, we had all our receivers had over 1,000.
Yeah,
that's not. Yeah, we did. Gallup
what
and
CD
and
how far?
I'm just making a stat. See,
no.
see, I'm just saying that. Now you want to go
stats with success. Stats with
but you didn't say that. You just said he's gonna be the first player to do this, that, and the third. You mentioned stats. You didn't mention the Super Bowl. What he's gonna win? I'm just telling you that was been done before.
Did he have
now you mean
did he have 35 touchdowns and 4,600 yards?
Okay, that's different. No, he didn't. So you're talking about the culmination of the whole thing.
Listen to the
very different. That's very different.
And with that 2021 trying to get, but Dallas did that and his eyes getting small. Dallas did that 2020. What did they do in 2021? Was there any success with that?
No, we caught an L.
Exactly.
We caught an L.
So,
yeah, we caught, but I mean, but that's not what you're saying. Yo, do you know what? You know what? You better win, bro. I'm telling you, you better win. You better yeah, you better sing along with the tune. Y'all better win. D, I'm telling you, if you don't win the Super, because Scrap, all he's been talking about was confetti, right? Every show we get.
I said that is our what I have said. Don't word my mouth. Confetti. I said our goal, our focus is being in Vegas with the confetti drop. That's our goal.
Focus.
That should be Dallas's goal. That should be Eagles' goal. That should be Baltimore's goal. That should be Miami's goal.
If the 49ers don't win, but if the 49ers don't win, that's a bigger letdown than the Eagles, Cowboys, Dolphins, whoever else, right? Y'all are the favorite in the world. Y'all the favorite in the world. If y'all don't win the Super Bowl this year, that's going to be a major
49ers jersey. Because if you're trying to say if you should feel just as bad if your team is not in the Super Bowl. But if you want to try to make it, if the 49ers don't do it,
because the 49ers are the favorite. Are the 49ers not the best team in the NFL right now and expected by most to win the Super Bowl? Is that a fair expectation and assessment?
They're the best in the NFL. They're the best in the NFL.
Are they expected? Do you expect? So if they're the best in the NFL, do you expect them to win the Super Bowl?
Of course I do. Our goal.
Y'all didn't look good in the run. What you call kind of ran on y'all a little bit. I didn't see y'all's game in totality, but what you call had a good game.
We were also missing players. We were also missing Eric Armstead and
Armstead was
Ron
out.
Hargraves. So that's fine. Listen, we have to have to a degree a bend but don't break, right? So Kyler Murray, little fast feet, can do all of that. But at the end of the day, 45 points, we hung on them. So our offense still did what they needed to do. The defense, yeah, they ran a little bit. Trey McBride, who, let me tell you, Travis Kelce is finished. Let me tell you, Travis Kelce has been a big disappointment. He's not even the security blanket for Patrick Mahomes that he has always been. They are bracketing Travis Kelce and pretty much shutting him out. Yeah. So Trey McBride had a great game.
Fellas, I got to tap out. I got to get ready for work.
Yes.
Okay, no doubt, Scrap.
Appreciate it, Scrap. We
always
appreciate
a pleasure, my brother.
Absolutely.
We'll see you Saturday, my brother. No doubt. We'll be chatting
next week. Get back to your winning ways, man.
We will.
Take care.
All right, fellas. Later.
All right, my brother. Be blessed. Yes.
So yeah, we're wrapping up soon. I think ultimately, I would just think from a standpoint of what the Niners should do after this week.
Right.
We should try to get some leads and then just utilize some of the secondary players. Get Debo.
But that Rams game at the end of the season, that's going to be tricky. You got to be a little careful with that game.
So let me explain something to you.
Okay.
Our focus is just to beat the Ravens. Once we beat the Ravens, because both of your teams lost, we're still a lock for the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
it won't affect. So
but you haven't clinched the number 1 seed yet, though. So
what I'm saying is, if we beat the Ravens, and if you guys win out, and we just lose, let's say we win the next 2 games, and we lose to the Rams. We still have the number 1 seed. Yeah, that's it, right? But if you lose to Baltimore, right? We're not going to lose. We're not losing two out of the 3 games.
That's a game.
Come on, Rod. Come on, Rod.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to make it interesting. That's all. I listen. The Baltimore game is a game y'all could lose.
Let's make it come.
Y'all will beat Commanders. Y'all will beat the Commanders. And y'all will beat the Rams too. But I'm just trying to say, don't sleep the Rams. And McVay and Shanahan. They. He's had your number now. Don't. That's and the Rams are playing much better.
Whoa. That's not accurate. That's not accurate.
The Rams. No, well, I mean, he's
Shanahan's record against McVay. He owns McVay. He owns him. Remember what Jimmy G used to do against Jimmy G had a ridiculous record against the Rams. They beat us in that NFC Championship game, but by and large, they had lost like 6 in a row or something like 4 or 5 in a row in the regular season. In that season that they beat us, we swept them. So yeah, McVay is Kyle Shanahan's son. We're not worried about that. So his record, check the record. His record against McVay is not a problem. Not a problem. So yeah, I think our focus should be of course the Ravens. And then after that, I think CMC, Debo, and all of them, they need to play. Of course, I'm not suggesting that they don't play, but I am suggesting that they scale back for the final playoff push. But did you find out what the record was?
Yeah, I'm going through this other site. And it looks like y'all been pretty much dominating them. Some close games. I'm going back to 2019.
Almost doesn't count, right?
No. Right.
So we're talking wins and losses. You could just do a.
I'll try to put in there. I'm not surprised they're not giving me the. It's not.
You can do head to head. Try to do a head to head between the I'm saying.
So I put in there. Let me see.
But
I feel like I gotta find this. Hold on. Oh man, I ain't subscribing to that nonsense. Okay. All right.
Okay. Well, thank you. What
is
James.
It? You found it? What is it, James?
Including playoffs, 9-4. We're not concerned.
Oh, 9-4. Okay. That's Shanahan versus McVay, right? James?
Yeah. I think so.
Shout out to our statistician in the building.
Right. Okay. All the way from the UK.
All the way from the UK. Good looking, James. Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate it. Yeah. We're not worried about McVay. Now, of course, it's a divisional game, so we're not looking past any team. But if Baltimore is the next game and the most important game on our schedule, right? So we need to just handle business, get out, win the game, get out healthy, That's all we got to do. Health.
Where y'all playing at? Y'all playing?
It's in it's in Levi's. Yeah.
Levi's.
Oh, so okay. Yeah. So we're gonna be,
Yeah, that's that. Now I got y'all winning.
Gonna be in the building. I don't know how Baltimore travels. I don't know what their fan base is. And I'll say one more thing before we wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
According to I forget if it was NFL. I gotta quote where I got the information from.
Okay.
The Niners have had the best fan base travel this year.
I saw you
saw that, right?
Yeah,
I saw your eyes. Your eyes are rolling up in your head.
Yeah, that's how you see my face. That's how I look at that text when I saw it.
But it's true.
No, that's what's up. No, y'all do. It's really an illusion though, because it's the red. It's the red. So it's really more than what it is. It's a whole army. Pharaoh's army just looks like a multitude. Israel looks like ants. Like, yeah, just but
our starters will only play half the game. Yeah, I think that's accurate. If we win the next 2 games, the last game won't be as important. And because what's his name? McVay is Kyle Shanahan's son, he may throw him a bone so they can make the playoffs. If that game is the difference between the playoffs, they may throw him a bone and play half.
I don't know. That could come back to bite you. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Listen, the Rams could be scared of the playoffs, son.
We wouldn't see. That would be scary for you. We wouldn't see them. But
I'm saying if they're able to upset a team, and then I think there was a scenario. I can't remember what year that was, but a team that, like in a situation like you just described, where a number 1 seed let another team, not let them, but they played them nonchalantly, and then they got in there and they ended up pretty much going pretty deep into the playoffs and ended up if I'm not mistaken, I believe that happened. I'm about to do some research on it. James, I'm about to put you on research duty there. Find out if there was a number 1 seed that let a wild card team into the playoffs in the last game of the season, and then that wild card team ended up maybe running the table or got far into the playoffs where they ended up beating that.
You see what Cowboy fans will try to.
I gotta find something, man. I gotta find something, man.
Something.
I'm gonna tell you, man. Everything just is so perfect for the Niners, man.
It's not perfect.
It's just so perfect. Everything is just so like there's no error. Everything is just so smooth. They just get everything just.
Did you see how wide open?
It's so effortless,
CMC
man.
Was. Did you see how wide open?
This is what I'm trying to tell you. That dude had a time to fall. He did a push-up. He did 2 push-ups. He did a burpee.
He got up and did a burpee and ran on into the end zone.
And then ran it. So nobody was near him. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
And the Debo one. Debo was wide open. It was like
wide open.
I mean, the scheming is and Brock Purdy is putting that ball. Now, one thing I was a little upset by is Brandon Ayuk dropped I think it was like the second play of the game.
I saw that, yeah.
And they he seemed like he was doghoused after that. They didn't go to him really.
Oh, really?
I mean, they're going to need Brandon Ayuk in the games, right? So maybe it's the fact that Kyle Shanahan is
he only got 3 targets that whole game.
He's really conscious of that stat. So maybe they are pushing to get Debo his numbers because he's 218 yards away from getting 1,000 yards. So maybe that's what it is more so. But Debo over the last, I don't know, four games, he has like 8 touchdowns. I mean, he's playing ridiculous.
No, he's been balling, and that's the thing. Debo's back to the 2021 form, so that's what makes the Niners, I think, scary.
With a CMC who is back to
he's back to just being. He looked like he was back in North Carolina. So it's like he's when he was a Charlotte, he's just looking like But yesterday, I mean, again, he didn't. The most targets anybody got yesterday was Christian McCaffrey with 5. He had 5 targets. Kittle only had 2 receptions. I'm sorry. I'm going by receptions. So Christian McCaffrey had 5 receptions. Kittle had 2. Debo had 4, and Ayuk had 3. And then Juszczyk and Jawan Jennings had 2. The most targets anybody got was Debo. He had 7 targets but 4 catches. So but I mean, it is. I mean, look. All I'm saying, D. Listen.
Don't end the show on this. Don't end the show on a sour note.
All I'm gonna say, as far as my therapy session, I had the Buffalo game and I had the 49er game as the 2 games that I believe we were going to elevate, and the Jets. This is again prior to the season when they had Aaron Rodgers. So because Aaron Rodgers is the Cowboy killer, I knew he was going to some way he was going to beat us and break our hearts like he always does. when he was in Green Bay. So those are the 3 games that I said, okay, we definitely taking L's. I'm gonna take 3 L's right here. I want us to play well, but I really felt that the 49er game, had we came to play that game and we actually showed up to the stadium, I would have thought that game would have been giving me some idea where we are. As good as Dallas has looked since that 49er loss, and even yesterday was a debacle, but on Monday rather, but I'm still not certain where we are. And I thought the 49er game would have showed me that. I said, we're not going to beat the 49ers, but if we could play them close like we did in the last 2 playoff games, then it would at least let me know where Dallas is mentally, because the 49ers have got to be the team that you got to be focused on. But now that's not really the case, because now we got to try to prove ourselves. We got to beat Miami next week on the road. We got Detroit. We got to beat them at home. So now it gets a little muddy now, and I still don't know where we are. So, like I came to church on Sunday. I walk into the building. Frank Green said, 18. And then he walks away. 18. I'm like, what does 18 mean? What are you talking about? 18.
Week 18.
What does that mean?
That's all it matters,
Week
right?
18. That's what he said. Week 18. He said, always remember this number, 18. And then he walked away.
Right.
I said, well, how about you remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? How about I want you to remember 12?
Right,
That's how many
right.
L's you got, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
But anyway, but they did beat the Falcons, so that's a whole other story. But But nah, the 49ers, like I said, man, we came in here today, Scrap. Shout out to Scrap, who was just with us.
So the division is
y'all got the division. And the Cowboys are not going to win the division either. Look, I don't suspect the Giants to beat them, but if the Giants do win one of the games, right? One of the games, and Dallas happen to wins out, then we win the division because we'll have a better division record than them. So that's the thing. They just have to. We don't care if they lose to the Cardinals. It's the Giant game that they have to lose one of those games. Then Dallas can win the division if we happen to win out. So we just got.
Got it. I get what you say.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
You would like.
It's not conference.
You want the division. Yeah.
It's the division. So we'll have a better division record than them because then they'll have lost 2 games in a division.
That stuff we don't even think about that stuff. We don't have to even.
Yeah, that's good. Man. You should see your boy Briggs, man. Sweets is just, man, he lighting it up in the chat, man. Just really? Nobody got it better than us. Who got it better than us? Nobody. Wilding out.
We got to get him on the show. We got to get him on.
We got to get Corey on Saturday too.
Yeah,
so we get everybody.
Yeah,
we get them on there. And because Briggs be working. You got the airport thing. But y'all got to get, we got another 49, and that's part of the show. We got to get him back on there. You know what I'm saying? But D don't need no help. He's good.
So, listen, man. Great show.
Shout
outs to Kingdom Creative for the production.
Yes.
Shout outs to Infinite Audio for the music.
IA.
All original beats.
All original.
So, and of course, our resident Eagles.
Yes.
All things Philly. I shouldn't say
that's
Eagles.
It. School level.
We're talking Eagles, so he's Eagles. Our resident Philly fan, Scrap, was in the building. Once again, blessed our show, man.
Yes, he has.
And so, listen.
Yeah, always do a good job.
Once again, everyone, please.
Yeah, man.
Like, share, subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube page. We love the interaction. Shout outs to all of the people, whether they gave us their names or their teams or not.
Yeah.
Shout out to James from the UK.
No problem, Bruce. No problem, Bruce.
Courtney.
Courtney came through.
The Eagles fan
James,
that Scrap told you to call to chime in. Everybody, man. We appreciate it. Nikki, good seeing you.
Yeah, Nikki was in the building. I know
Brandon, listen. Just answer us.
Brandon, man, just tell us who you root for, man.
Yeah, man. Just listen. Don't be one of
probably
them.
Name a USFL team or something.
Teams. I don't see teams. I don't see color. I don't see nothing. You got to have a team, man. Have a team. And we'll talk more. But once again, we appreciate you guys for joining us.
We appreciate
we got
it, man.
A really, really good week coming up, week 16. These teams got to get back. Of course, we have.
Oh, that's Scrap. Scrap is Bruce.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's Scrap.
Thank you, Scrap. Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate you, Bruce. Right? I'm like, shout out to Bruce. You know what I'm saying? Give Bruce. Right. I'm like, oh, that's Scrap. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was his real name. That's his government, Bruce.
Yeah.
That's what's up, Bruce in the building. That's what's up. He's a
you have a real name, right?
I got a real name. But listen, America, can I just give one shout out to Don? Listen, I wanted to shout out my co-host here, man. He's been grinding. He's been putting out all the stuff, man. Content, keeping the pages active, man. Appreciate D. And I also got a shout out to, man, D as well, man. I was looking at, I'll just say this very quickly. I was looking at Undisputed today. And y'all know now with the way that their lineup is, you got Skip, who has to kind of be the host, the moderator, you know what I mean? There's no Molly Querum in their mix, right? But to me, I always felt that that's the thing that Skip struggles with, because he's really not good at trying to set up the table for the guys and then still trying to give commentary. But I want to shout out, man, to Don. To let y'all know, Don sets us up. He leads us into the topics. He gives takes. He's also running the board. He's doing a plethora of things, entertaining the comments, trying to listen to me and Scrap give us counsel. Okay, all right. And that's what's up. So shout out to D, man. D is doing it. D is the moderator. He's holding it down, on and off the screens. So, I just want to shout out you, though, bro. You've been doing your thing. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, just want to shout you out, man.
Thank
say
you
Dr.
so much,
Octopus.
Hey, listen, you guys make the show great, man, and everyone's takes. And the good thing about it is that we don't always have to agree. We actually bump heads a lot. And I think it works out that our teams are just polar opposite, and it works with Scrap and you and the whole Eagles being in the division.
Eagle-Cowboy rivalry.
Yeah. So,
and then you got the Cowboy-Niner rivalry. Well, they ain't really much of a rivalry. They don't beat us 3 times in a row. So I don't know if it's much of a rivalry right now, but I'm still holding on to the rivalries back in the 90s we had.
Right.
That gives you some kind of something to hold on to. You know what I'm saying? But listen, man, it's the Niners world for now. For now, it's the Niners world. So I pay homage. It's all good.
I appreciate it. But thanks for joining, everybody. Until our next show, real quick, is going to be fantastic. We got some great games.
Yep.
We got
it's gonna be good.
Cowboys in Miami. We got, of course, the Niners and the Ravens. There's probably some other games.
And even the Giants and the Eagles. It's still
Giants and the Eagles. Giants and the Eagles. DeVito might be, he might be. If I see this, if I see this at all, that means the Eagles are in trouble. So we'll see what happens.
He should not do this at all. If he does it one time, it's okay.
Right, exactly.
He should not be doing this. That's true.
But in any case, we appreciate it. Until next time, peace.